Now that it was 5 black officers, you still gonna say it was racism? Are the police still racist? This conversation has always been about the system and never about the individual. If you're asking that question, you're not interested in the answer because you don't even understand the problem yet. Let me ask you a question. What do the police do? The police don't solve crime. Less than 2% of crimes are actually solved by the cops. They don't reduce crime. We have study after study after study that show the increase of cops does not decrease crime. They don't deter crime. Because if they did, then increased cops would decrease crime, and we just said that doesn't happen. They don't serve and protect. The Supreme Court ruled the police have no duty to protect anyone who's not in their custody. So what do? Yeah, next time somebody breaks in your house, who you going to call? Not the cops. You live in TV land where you call the cops and they come blazing around the corner in 5 minutes. Not happening. Especially if you live in low income or high crime areas, it could be hours before they show up. So if somebody breaks in your house and you need protection, you better get to protecting yourself because the cops not gonna do anything. So what the fuck do the cops do? Drain our city budget. If you want to get tough on crime, get tough on the number one cause of crime, poverty. Lower poverty, you lower crime. Stop treating drugs as if they're criminal. Decriminalize all drugs. Get rid of punitive punishment. Let's focus on rehabilitation. Let's focus on restorative justice. We have the highest recidivism rate anywhere in the fucking developed world and the highest incarceration rate per capita of any other developed country. So more people in prison and more people going to prison. Clearly, that's not the fucking answer. So when you got guys with guns going around stopping people because they got a broken taillight, or because they have an air freshener in their mirror, or because their tags are expired, when you got guys with guns investigating because you look suspicious, when you got guys with guns who have the authority to strip you of your human and constitutional rights just because they want to, that's how we end up with Elijah McClain. That's how we end up with Sandra Bland. That's how we end up with Freddie Gray. That's how we end up with Amir Locke. That's how we end up with Breonna Taylor. That's how we end up with Dante Wright. That's how we end up with George Floyd. That's how we end up with Eric Garner. And that's how we end up with Tyree Nichols. This has never been about the individual. It's about the system. The system doesn't fucking work. The system of policing in this country doesn't fucking work. Abolish this system and start over. Let's focus on a security department that responds to active security threats, not a department that polices people. Let's spend less money on policing people and more money on resources and opportunities. Lower poverty, you lower crime. Restorative justice, end mass incarceration. If you really want to be part of this conversation and part of the solution, then recognize the problem.